All right, we are rolling. Sean Brace for PhillyInfluencer.com. Thank you for joining me once again. If you like what you're seeing or you're hearing, please subscribe to the YouTube page. Obviously, you have a Facebook page as well, Philly Influencer. Look that up. And on Twitter, @Sean_Brace. A couple different things to get into today, nice and quick. I like to keep it under 10 minutes just so everybody has noticed so far. All the videos are under 10 minutes. That's where I like to be. And we'll get a little bit longer as as we start figuring out this process and the scheduling and so on and so forth. But tonight, the Philadelphia Union with a game at PPL Park. That's right, big game for the Union, midweek game. I like those games, the hump day games. A little bit tough. Couple tough breaks for the Union, especially on Saturday night, losing that heartbreaker down in D.C. They put a couple wins together just recently. It's a long damn season, so they just got to keep on keeping on, getting points if they can, especially the home games. So hopefully the Union are able to mix a victory in tonight. And if you're heading up to PPL Park, let me know. We got a good tailgate with the boys from the Chamonix Creek Brewing Company. A lot of good tasty beers, some good food and some good times, and hopefully a Union victory. Hit me up on Twitter if you're heading up that way. Some news just coming down the wire. How about this one? Shady McCoy up in Buffalo. Yeah, we're still going to talk about Shady because of his comments in that ESPN magazine article earlier this month, or excuse me, last month in May. Shady was asked a question today about Chip Kelly in the locker room. Shady wasn't having any of that. He put his foot down and said if he gets one more Chip Kelly question, and I believe this was the first Chip Kelly question, he was out. And the question was, hey, how come you didn't pick up the phone when Chip Kelly called not once but twice? Shady looked at the reporters and said another Chip Kelly question, and this interviewing session is over. I'm going to go ahead and side with Jay Glazer on this one, Shady. It's bullshit what you did. And you need to back it up because there's some serious allegations. For you to accuse a man of being racist or having racism in his locker room because he let all the good black players go, but he brought in some other good black players as well. So you need to answer those questions. That pisses me off that ESPN magazine article didn't follow up. All right, and they didn't really run with that. They just jabbed you with it and moved on like it's ho-hum, but it's not. Those are serious accusations. And Jay Glazer said it was bullshit, and I completely agree with him. Complete horseshit, as I like to say, Shady. Answer damn questions. Some other stuff from yesterday. I want to get to this. Two things from yesterday. Number one, some Eagles reporters were talking about this last night that I caught on Twitter, that Sam Bradford looked good. It was 7-on-7s, but just his movement, coming off of that injury, he looked stable back there. I'm not trying to get too crazy, but like I said, I told you this yesterday, I didn't think he'd be good to go this early for 7-on-7s. So I'm impressed. We got a long way to go. August is right around the corner, and that's when we will know what exactly we have in Sam Bradford, because that's the all-important preseason games, and there's 4 of them. Hopefully he'll play in 3 out of those 4, and we'll see what we got for the season. But they said that Sam Bradford looked good, and there was one reporter that said there was a noticeable difference between him and Nick Foles. I think that's getting ahead of yourself just a little bit. Let's see what he looks like with pads on, with a linebacker breathing down his throat. And I know they don't hit practice, but again, we got a long way to go until we get to that discussion. I'm just happy that he's out there and he's able to toss the football around. Some other stuff from yesterday. Brandon Boykin getting pissed off with the media. He fired a tweet in Jeff McClain's direction saying something along the lines of like, your headline was misleading. Something like that. Well, the question that Brandon Boykin is obviously getting upset with is, hey, Brandon, when are you moving to the outside? Now, this is year 4 for Brandon Boykin, okay? His final year of his contract for the Philadelphia Eagles. You're talking about 2 seasons ago, he had 6 interceptions. If he hasn't got the opportunity to slide out to the outside by now, I think that question is dead. I understand why the media is asking that question, and I also understand why Brandon Boykin got fired up and saying, all right, enough is enough. I obviously don't fit the requirements here. I'm 5'10". They want a bigger body cornerback out there. Nolan Carroll's 6 foot. Let's see what he can do. Brandon Boykin, I'm fine with you in the slot. Just make some plays like he did 2 years ago, having 6 interceptions at the end of that year. That was important. That's the main reason why, one of the main reasons why the Eagles were able to win the division that year. Obviously picking off that cowboy pass, what was it, Kyle Orton, in the final week of the season down there in Dallas. That was huge. That was number 6. So Brandon Boykin had a great season that year. Hopefully he can return to form this year, playing in the slot position. That's what he's just going to have to do. one other thought I wanted to get in from the Eagles. There was an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer front page about Michael Kendricks possibly still being traded. I don't get that. I said yesterday that I'm excited about this defense because I listed 5 playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, and Jordan Matthews came out and said, hey man, after one day of practice, I can tell you right now that Byron Maxwell is one of the best damn cornerbacks I've ever gone up against in my, under 2 years of playing experience in the NFL. But I'm telling you, everybody that went up against last year and right now, Byron Maxwell is the real deal. So I think the Eagles have 5 playmakers on defense. Michael Kendricks is one of those guys. Enough of the trade talk. Kendricks is here. I'm getting excited about the defense for the first time in a long time. Kiko Alonso and Michael Kendricks with D'Amico Ryans adding a little depth at that position. Now we're talking. That was my Eagles take. Again, you want to hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you think. If you disagree with any of that, please bring it on. I want to get over to this one, and this one really made the blood boil just a little bit. Andre Iguodala, yes. You knew the article was coming. He's in the finals with the Golden State Warriors. Go Cavs. No, I'm joking. Well, I just want to see a good series. How about 7 games? I'd like to see that. But Andre Iguodala is interviewed by a girl from the Philadelphia Inquirer, a girl by the name of Sarah E. Todd. I'm not too familiar with her work. Tried to find her on Twitter. Couldn't find her. I think it should be a requirement moving forward that if you write an article for a magazine or a newspaper, you need to be on Twitter. I don't know. That's just me. But moving forward, Iguodala had a few things to say, and one of the things that really just made me go, all right, dude, enough. Iguodala, this is from her, so this is one of the reasons why I wanted to tweet her and really find out the clarification on, did he say exactly this? But we will take her word for it right here. She puts the following. Iguodala remembers walking the streets of Philadelphia with teammates, fans hurling expletives his way. And I'm going to borrow a line from Jay Glazer on this. I call that bullshit. I do. I call that bullshit. Because in my 10 plus years of being around professional athletes and fans having to deal with them or having the opportunity to speak to them, they melt. They melt in front of them. That's right. I don't care who the athlete is. It could be Donovan McNabb, the biggest lightning rod in this city. And fans melt in front of Donovan McNabb. I was with them one night a couple years ago. All right, we were at this club. Next thing you know, there was a line of 25 people just begging for a picture of Donovan McNabb. I guarantee that maybe 2 of those people ran their mouth about McNabb maybe 2 weeks before then or whatever it was, the last time they had an Eagles conversation, but they were lining up to get a picture with McNabb. Andre Iguodala, the one time that he does an article for Philadelphia, you would think that he would just leave. No. We got to put this in there. Yeah, I remember I was walking down the street and Sixer fans were cursing at me. They were tossing expletives my way. Bullshit, Iggy. All right? Maybe it might have happened one time, but for you to bring that up, I mean, that just really pisses me off. All right? And I feel like he studied from the book of McNabb on this one, the passive aggressiveness. Also in this article, and you got to check it out, it's on Philly.com. It says, I don't know what's happened to me, Iggy says. I've lost all emotion. I'm not blaming it on Philly. It's just being in the NBA. Sure, you're not blaming it on Philly. No, you're not at all. Just continue to mention them throughout the course of the article in a negative fashion, including the point where, you know what, if I was an athlete and I was reading that article, I was like, damn, you're walking down the street and the fans are just tossing curse words your way? It doesn't happen like that, Andre. Stop it. And I tell you right now, I've been in this city a long time. Many nights outside in this city. I've only seen Andre Iguodala one time. And I put it out there on Twitter, and a lot of people reacted and said, yeah, I caught up with him in such and such place. He was nice as hell. Everybody was nice to him all the way around. Like I said, am I going to say for certain that 0 times this happened? No. Because there's idiots everywhere in this city, everywhere in every city across the country. But the one article he's doing in Philly, got to take your shots. Yeah, I remember walking down the street and fans were tossing expletives our way. Why don't you get one of those teammates to back up that story? I'd like to hear that, Andre. All right? Go Cavs, like I said. Iguodala. And one other thing I want to get in, Iggy, before we get out of here. This Andrew Unterberger, I want to get his name right, for the 700 level. He wrote an article about Iggy a couple days ago, excuse me. Andrew Unterberger. That's who it is. And again, he's got a wolf as a profile picture, so I don't know much about him. But he went in to say that the time that Iggy came back with the Denver Nuggets after being traded, he said the following. I'll always believe that the service fans paid him in his last days and after his exit is a far blacker mark on our city's rep than anything Santa Claus or Battery related. I was at that game, Andrew. I'll tell you right now, the sarcastic boos, they went on a little too long, in my opinion. I'm with you there. But I remember the first TV timeout when he got a standing ovation, and people were going nuts and showed him all the love and respect Iggy deserved his first time around. So get off of that. And again, over batteries, read that article again. I put that up at phillyinfluencer.com. Check out that article from when the batteries were tossed inside the toilet paper wad at JD Drew. Scary stuff right there. I'll take batteries over booze for 1,000, Alex, on that one. What's worse for this city's reputation? Get out of here. phillyinfluencer.com. Hit me up on Twitter at Sean_Brace. I'm going to come back at you a little bit later with Tim Tebow being in the top 25 NFL jerseys already. Is that Tebow mania or Eagles fans? Good question. Hit me up on Twitter at Sean_Brace. Like the Philly Influencer Facebook page and check out the website, phillyinfluencer.com. Go Union. Talk to you later.